Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of Compania or Compania, not quite sure. But yeah, this is a worker placement simultaneous game that also has a solo mode, and I'll be showing that off. And as always, we don't accept payment from publishers. We just want to help you make an informed decision and show you what the game looks like. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So the basic idea of Compania is it is a worker placement game that uses simultaneous placement. Actually, everything in the game is simultaneous. So every round, you're going to take one of these tiles and lay them out, so you'll slowly get more building spots where your workers can go. And then behind a player screen, this is in competitive, by the way, so it was a little bit different, you will take dice in your color and dial in how many workers you're going to send to each available building up to a certain amount. So you can't just dial all sixes. And then you place that number of cubes on each spot when all the players reveal. And in each of these location tiles, whichever player has the most cubes goes onto this little gear. If they're tied, they both do it. And then you get to resolve the actual actions, gaining resources and such for the locations you control for that round. And you'll use those locations to build buildings that actually earn you money, actually earn you victory points for the game. And those buildings can chain together in lots of ways. And then at the end of each round, all the cubes that were used to control a location are returned to their players. But the cubes that didn't end up getting control stay on the board to make it a little bit easier for you to control that location next round. And those are kind of the basics of the competitive game. Solo has a few other things going on, but I'll explain it as I go. It's a pretty straightforward system. But I do have to set up some stuff for me at the beginning of the game. First of all, in Solo, there are 6 different characters, each with a different color. So I'm playing red right now, and I'm getting the waste management power. This is going to give me something to do whenever I have 3 solo points. And those are going to be based on how much I compete with what's called the saboteur, which is kind of like my opponent in this game. Well, I should say there isn't really an opponent. Basically, they're going to be rolling to mess with me and put their own workers out to block me up, but I'm just trying to get the highest score possible I can, which will be 500 to 600 points depending on what you're playing with. I'm playing with all these advanced modules, so I should be going for 600. But yeah, so I've got that guy's my power, and then because I'm playing with all the additional advanced modules, you don't have to play with these, but I think it's pretty cool. I'm also going to pick one of 2 companies, which will immediately give me a bonus of more resources, and then also give me an ongoing power in the game. This one, Cadmotaz, is going to reward me if I am building my building cards really consistently and not having too many building cards. I'll get free resources for having a hand that's basically empty of building cards, which seems a little bit harsh to me because, I want to have more buildings than I need so I can know kind of what to build toward and what resources I need. And then this one, Maxer, just gives me victory points out of these little gear kind of coin icons here. It's like money. Whenever I upgrade either the number of dice I have or what the total of my workers I can put out is, which is definitely something I want to be doing. So I think I'm going to get Maxer. I'm going to start with one mechanical and electrical part here, one green and one yellow. These are tracked on a little thing here. Don't actually have any tokens. And that will be my power for the game. And then I also get what's called a sponsor card. This is going to give you a way to earn victory points. In the competitive game, this is hidden, but other players who do better than me could still get the victory points. So it kind of encourages you to watch the other players and sort of figure out what they might be going for. All right, so this one says, at the end of the final round, calculate the total sum of revenue from crown cards in your play area and divide that by 2. So I just get to rescore. It kind of gives me a certain type of card to build towards. Or at the end of the final round, gain 6 victory points for each construction card in hand. And this is a prototype with some, language translation still to be done. I'm actually not sure what they mean by construction card. Do they mean building cards? If so, that's pretty dang good. But I know definitely what this one means, so I'll take this one instead of this one, because again, I'm not quite sure what it's saying with that. So I want to be building these crown cards, which are going to be you'll see the basic kind of spend some resources, produce. Here you go. Here's an example of one of my starting opening hand, a power supply market. It costs 4 electricity to build, and then I can run it each round, as you'll see, by spending 2 electricity to earn 8 victory points. And the reason it's in 2 different slots is because you can enhance buildings and build them up. But yeah, so I got to pick what I want to keep. I think it makes sense to keep that. And then, can I just build this immediately for a green and a yellow? Yes, I can. These are basically saying that whenever I control a location, so the flag means when you have your cubes tied for or winning a location, I multiply that for free at the end of each round to get a free number of victory points. This one with the crown means sole control. That means that the saboteur is behind me. We're not tied for 3 each. I have more cubes on buildings than they do. It's also worth 3, but it's a little cheaper to build. Now, you also want to be paying attention to these icons because you can enhance buildings by paying to build the building again and then slotting it underneath an existing building. And you'll then multiply your bonus. So like here, if I did this, I would get 4 victory points times the number of places I controlled. I mean, actually, for these, the slotting doesn't really matter as much because you're going to get the same thing. But it's really big for the ones like this with the crown because you can spend the same 2 electricity to run the building but get like way more victory points if you keep on building off of it. Yeah, so I'm going to go for this since it goes with my sponsorship. But then I'm going to go for this one since I literally have the victory points to build it the first round. Yeah, sorry. At the beginning of the game, you get 2 companies, pick one. You get 2 sponsorships, pick one. If you're playing with those, again, those are kind of optional to make the game more complicated. And 4 building cards, pick 2. And there are some random other things. We have these investment tiles randomly selected. We have another sponsorship random here that's for all the players. This is at the end of the final round. Gain 6 victory points for each place you solely control. So that'll just give me the encouragement to make sure I'm solely controlling some places at the end. But with all that being done, let's actually get into the phases of the game. All right, so the first phase is the planning phase. This is where we would, behind our screen, select where we want to put our people with dice. But for solo, it gets a bit more complicated. Although, sorry, I forgot. First, you have to put out the first tile. In solo, you get to look at 2 and you pick one. In competitive, you would just take whichever one you got. Oh, man. So civilian base, this lets you increase the number of dice you can use each turn, which doesn't give you more workers, but you can spread them out among more action spaces. And this increases the sum of the value your workers can add up to each round, so you can put out more workers. This one, on the other hand, lets you take the number of resources you have for the indicated type, green or yellow, and multiply them. So like if I had 2 green, I'd get up to 4. If I had 4 yellow, I'd get up to 8, which is pretty freaking great. But this one's going to really jumpstart my worker economy. I think we got to go with that. So this one gets discarded, although importantly, my waste management character's ability is to use tiles that have been discarded, so I got to keep these nearby for later. All right, but now we get into planning. So in competitive, I would just select where I wanted to go. In solo, I'm taking every column that has at least 1 building, and you'll see that I have the other 5 characters from the game laid out. That's just to indicate which color goes where. And I've got this card that shows saboteur placement. So I'm going to roll these dice representing the different columns that match their color, and for each die result, I'm going to put out saboteur cubes, which I'm using the color yellow, on the indicated spots. All right, so let's see how this goes. We got 2 6s, 6 being 1 cube at the top and bottom. So that's yellow and white. And then blue got 1 at the top in the middle with 4, but they ignore anything it doesn't actually have a building to place on yet. So there we go. We have our initial saboteur placement. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to put out all my workers however I want with the dice. But then we're going to roll those dice again and add saboteurs again in the exact same way. So you're never 100% sure if you're going to get a location or not. But also importantly, if I put my workers in locations where there are saboteurs right now, me competing with them, me kind of getting in their face, gives me solo points. For each location where I put workers with their workers, I get to increase my little solo counter here. I'm just using some extra dice. And then that solo count is going to change again based on how the actual control works out. But then I can spend these solo points for free resources. The crystal resource you can see is a lot harder to get, so it's generally considered worth twice of the green and yellow resource. Free victory points, getting more building cards, or even increasing my stuff, or using my character's power, which I said is to use one of the tiles that got thrown away. So you want to kind of get in the saboteur's face, but then you still need to overcome their numbers wherever you end up going. And to start out the game, I have 3 dice, so I can place workers in 3 different places, because you can't like double put a dice down. You know, you can't like do a 2 and a 3 on the E. Each space can hold a single die. And this value down here is what my current total sum of workers can be. So I'm going to place dice with a total sum of 5. If I get up here, eventually I could place like a ton of dice with a lot of workers. So the most they will add to any place right now is 2, right? So like if in the blue column they rolled a 1, they would add 2 more workers there. But that is a pretty low chance, so just to be mostly safe, I'm going to put 2 workers there because I really want to increase my dice and my worker count. I need a ton of yellows to build this first building, and they're not even there yet, so we'll probably be okay with just 1 person here. It leaves me with 2 workers. And sorry, I didn't say what all the tiles do. This one gets you 2 green, 2 yellow, 1 red. That's pretty obvious. Number of dice increases. Number of workers you can put out increases. Both increase. And this one lets you draw 2 building cards and then discard 1 of any card in your hands. It doesn't have to be one of the 2 two just drew. So I'm torn here. Maybe I'll compete with them and also get building. Well, I kind of like both my building cards. I don't have enough stuff. Yeah, let's go hard on like dice and values early and see how that goes. So that's 2 of mine here, 2 of mine here, 1 of mine here. And I immediately gain 2 solo points for each location where my cubes are shared with theirs. All right, but now we got to see how they change things up. Okay, yellow did the exact same as before. Blue also did a 6, so we're going to tie them up. Great. And white did a 5, which is 2 down here. Okay, before we move on to the next phase, we have to see who has control. So in places where I am or where we both are, we just do control the regular way. So here we tied. There I beat him by 1. But in locations where the saboteurs are by themselves, they only move half of their workers rounded down onto the gear, which means that they're going to be around to bother me later. In fact, this guy doesn't move at all. So these single cubes are going to hang out. These cubes are going to be taken off in a second. So the board will be generally more dangerous some rounds than others. And then I adjust my solo points based on every location where we are sharing spaces. If I have sole control, like in the shipyard here, I'm not tied with them, I gain another solo point. If I'm tied with them, it doesn't change. And if they had gained sole control over me, they had beaten me in the location, I would have lost a solo point. So I end up with 3 solo points in this next phase called the area phase, where we actually like run the buildings. But I have to use all of these this round. So if I don't use any of them, then they'll go away. So again, I can get resources, I can get more cards, I can increase my values. I will see what I want to do. But let's run the basic buildings first. So I'm getting 2 yellow resources, brings me to 3. I am increasing the number of dice in my hand, so now I can do 4, and I'm doing that again, so now I can use 5 dice next round, and those dice can total up to 6. I definitely don't need that many dice. And could use already some more worker value. But importantly, look at Maxer. Gain 3 whenever you increase your worker value or gain a dice. So I just got 9 money. So these are victory points, but you'll also see in the next phase that I'm able to spend them to get like permanent upgrades. So kind of spend money to make more money. We'll see how that all works in a moment. And then, yeah, I think I want a lot of yellow. I want to build that first yellow building. In fact, I'm going to spend all 3 of these just for yellow so I can run it this turn. Gets me to 6, which is enough to buy the building and run it this turn. Okay, so let's get to all of that. We are now in the 3rd phase of the game, which is called the company phase. And again, all these are simultaneous in the competitive game, which is really nice to keep stuff moving. But so there are several things I can do. I can, during this phase, buy buildings for their indicated number of resources. Or if I have buildings that have the same icon, I can also pay the indicated number of resources to expand an existing building, so you can kind of use your building cards in that way. For buildings I've bought, even buildings I've bought this turn, I can put one of my cubes on them to get revenue from them, basically run them for their resource, to victory point pipeline, or to get the automatic victory points from things like this for the places I control. And then finally, I had mentioned spending your victory points. You can do investments in these 4 tiles, which are random each game. And each of them modifies one of the phases of the game. So this one is in the planning phase before you place out your workers. You can go on one of these spots. So the alpha, beta, and whatever the Y letter is. You can only have 1 cube on one of these. And you have to spend this many of your victory points. Like if I spent 8 here, I would go there. And then at the beginning of every planning phase, I would get this benefit. And you can only put out 1 of these investments per turn. So even if I have a ton of victory points, I couldn't go like that. I cannot have a cube on the same investment that I already have a cube on. But in competitive, you are totally allowed to have the cube on the same spot as other players. I can, as my 1 investment for the round, spend the victory points, the full value of a different spot to change it. Seems like a dumb move to do, but if you decide you just made a mistake. So to go through them quickly, this tile, the first one for the planning phase, is always a random die roll. You just roll a die at the beginning of your turn. And if you get the indicated value or higher, you get the benefit. So here, if I get a 4 or higher, I get to draw 2 building cards, discard 1 card from my hand. Here, I just get 3 victory points, so it would pay for itself very quickly. And here, if you get a 5+, which is not the best odds, but you get 1 of every resource, including crystals, that is insane. The pink ones are related to the area phase, where you actually resolve the locations. And in this game, because again, these are different tiles every game, in this one, they all cost 10 or 18 for the crystal one. And how it works is if I have sole control over a location, and I gain the indicated type of resource from that location, I get another resource of the same type. And that happens each time. So like if I ended up with, I don't know, 2 or 3 buildings with yellows and I really needed yellows for all of my engine building, then I might want to go there to get a ton more. This one applies right now during the company phase. And for these, this is if you build 2 building cards either as extensions or on their own within a single company phase. So like you kind of save up and build a bunch all at once. So like 20, wow, pay back its entire thing in one go, or increasing your dice or workers or getting more resources. And then this last one happens at the end of the round. In this case, you got to spend victory points to get on it, and then you can spend more of them to gain a benefit. So at the end of each round, I can spend 3 to draw a card for free. I can spend 4 to get resources for free. I can spend 5. Man, these are all good. But let's do my building thing first, because you can mix and match all of those things I just talked about. Again, the only limitation is you can only invest once per round. So I'm going to spend 4 yellow to build that. I'm going to get revenue from it by spending 2 more. And you do gain both benefits, both the 3 and the 5, for a total of 8 on your initial cards. The lower row is just to remind you that as you do the extensions, you're only getting the lower row added. So like if I added another of the exact same copy of the card, I'd have another 5. I would get 13 every time I spent 2 electricity here. All right, so I'm at 17, not too bad. I sadly do not have 1 more yellow to build this building, which would have gotten me 3 free money this turn because I had 3 places controlled, tied, or solely. So the big question is, do I want to invest? I mean, I like doing these ones early because they give you benefits. And even though it's sort of the weakest, this one's going to pay for itself so quickly. I mean, there's 8 rounds left in the game because there's 9 rounds total. So 8 rolls, if I'm getting it 2/3 of the time, that's going to be like, 5 or 6. So I should get 15 or 18 victory points for 4 now. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so I spent 4 of my hard-earned money, and I now have the alpha one for the next round. And then you know what? I'm going to bankrupt myself. I'm going to spend 10 because I like the idea of just getting building cards consistently, because that way I just don't have to spend as many of my worker actions getting them. And for solo, it would cost 2 points to get one. So I am spending 10 to go here, and that is it for my company. I don't want to build any more buildings. I don't want to run any more things. So as we get into the end of the round where all of the control things pull off, I am going to spend my last 3. I'm back down to nothing, but I'm getting another building card, which is a secure... Oh, that is interesting. It's the exact same one I already had. Now, again, there's really no difference between building them as 2 separate buildings or building them together in this case, because the flag and the multiplier is going to be the same. But sometimes your investments and things or your sponsorships will care. Like they might want you to have more expansions, or you might get like a bonus for expansions. But yeah, cool. This is great. And we pull off all of the cubes on gears, but again, we're going to have a ton of yellow left around. Yikes. And that is how 1 round of the game goes. So let's keep it going. We are putting a building here. Oh my gosh, that's the one, right? With the buildings I already have. Heck yeah, regional power plant. Now what's my other option? Okay, this one, if I control it, I count the number of locations that I solely control, and that gives me like a number of points to spend, kind of like the solo things. So like last round, I solely controlled 2 places, right? So I could have spent those 2 sole controls to get a crystal or a card or a worker up. But I mean, this is just too good already with me having a building that is going to eat up a lot of yellow. If I ever have a turn where I have a ton of soul control, like late game, this would be a great one to use my 3-point leader ability on to just get a ton of varied resources. Okay, let's roll for our friends. Oh, 1 is going to be 2 here. I guess you can keep that. 2 is going to be 2 here. I did actually want to go there. Oh, and sorry, that's 2. Oh, man. 2 there, blue. Okay. And then the 6 is going to be 1 here and here. Yeah, sorry, I have it cut off, but I do have like the leaders placed at the top of the columns to remind me which color goes with which column. All right, so I have 5 dice, but only 6 workers. So like, it's not really, unless I want to put 1 dude all over the place, which you can see would not win here. I really need to, oh, crud, I forgot to roll for my bonus. So if I get a 3+, I get 3 victory points. Hey, there we go. So 1 more roll like that, and it'll have already paid for itself. All right, so yeah, I definitely want this. I definitely want some more building cards, although I don't have to get that round. I mean, civilian base is just sitting there, so I should kind of get that. I should probably also get Labor Bureau. So sure, let's do 2 on Labor Bureau. I have 6 to go around. I'll keep being 1 above them and just hope they don't get lucky. 3 on Regional Power Plant. Oh, and then I only have 1 point left. Okay, let's go civilian base again, because I'm going to get a ton of victory points, member, from my company power if I keep on increasing like my number of dice and stuff, even if I don't need it that much. Alrighty, so here is our placement, and hopefully they won't come after us in the perfect way with those double placements. Okay, wow, yellow is really loving that town factory. Okay, I dodged white. They went down here double. Oh, and then blue was super lucky. They would put 2 here, but there's no location there yet. So yay! Oh, whoops. Where was I? I was sharing a location here and here. So that's 2 solo points. And then I won both places and didn't lose anywhere. So I've got 4 solo points to spend with in a second. Let's go ahead and get the 4 yellow. We know we want that. And we're increasing our worker capacity twice and getting a die. But yeah, so this is amazing. I'm going to be at 8 points of workers for next turn. You really got to get that going, I've found in the early game. And then I'm getting another 9 points. I made change with a 1 because I increased dice or workers 3 times with my power. This is going very well. All right, so to build both of these, I need more green. So let's spend 1 solo point for that. I could get more buildings. I probably should. Or, I could spend my guy's power to activate this tile. And then it is removed, by the way, so you can only do each tile once per game. But that would get me 4 more yellow. Well, that's actually only 1 more than I would get anyway if I had spent all my solo points for that. Yeah, I think... Let me get another building card for 2. See what it is. Oh, it's a very powerful green production building, which I'm not necessarily loving because I haven't seen a tile that gives me green very quickly. But at the end of the final round, I calculate the total sum of revenue from all of these crown locations and divide that by 2 to a max of 30 more points. So like I might want to build out more. Well, either way, I don't have to make that decision right now. I'm certainly not going to build it this turn. Oh, and sorry, this cube should have been removed to show I can do my revenue again. And I've got 1 left. Well, I guess with that, let's maybe start building up some green to hopefully maybe decide to build that eventually. We'll see. The nice thing is, since most of the tiles that give you building cards will let you discard some after you draw them, and you can discard anything in your hand. If you get like things that don't really work, you can just use it as fodder for your next build or your next draw action. Oh, wait, I'm dumb. I literally said, hey, Mike, you can only invest once per turn. Shoot. Well, let's take away the 3 I got from this planning one and get back my 4. So I'll just give myself 1 more because, I already saw the building and kind of structured my strategy around it. And I'll say that was my 1 investment last turn. But yeah, now we're going to the company phase. So I'll run my building for 8. And then... this might be a little crazy, but I kind of like it. I'm going to spend 20 and do the most expensive investment on the board. Every time I build 2 buildings in 1 round, I get 20 points back. And then I'll spend 2 yellow and 2 green. I'll just stack these. It doesn't really matter either way. To get both of those, which immediately gives me my 20 back. So yeah, if I can make that happen a few more times, that'll be worth it. If not, I'll just have wasted an investment opportunity. Guess I'm not doing the die roll thing. Okay, now I can activate this for free every round. I'm getting 2 points for every place I control or tie for control. So 6 free money with no work, because 2 times 3, love that. Oh, and shoot, I forgot to do the yellow cube. Actually, I forgot to do control entirely. Sorry, everybody. All right, so there we go. So now it's the end of the round. So boop, and all these come back. And once again, they are all over the place, including my favorite spot. And I'll definitely spend 3 money again to get a free building card. Okay, this is interesting. So this one, you'll notice you must be the sole controller. Okay, so you can't tie, but it's 3 each. Although again, for my sponsor card for endgame scoring, I might want to go for this. I don't know. I'll try to draw some more and see what combos are coming up. All right, now we're going into round 3 and filling up our first column. Let's see our options. Okay, so here, oh, this is really good. So like this one, we take the number of places we solely control and gain that many crystals up to a max of 4, or the places we tied for control or solely control and gain that many green. I mean, that kind of has to be it, right? With the buildings I've seen so far. There are some buildings that cost a lot of crystals, but at the moment, literally, I only have a single place I can spend crystals to build this temple. So yeah, this will give me a lot of yellow for that 1 building I have. All right, anyway, so let's go and roll. We're not getting any free stuff. And next time, we're going to start rolling the pink die as well. Ooh, 6s again. All right, so yellow's going there, there, and there. So yeah, I'm going to get solo points no matter where I go. That part's nice. And I've got 6 dice to divide up with 8 workers total. I mean, I want that one, so Let's do 2 of our 8 there. This one's just too good if I get it. It gives me so many victory points. So 2 of our 8 there. Kind of want more buildings, but they have so much stuff there. I can just try to get it with solo points, I guess. Maybe instead of going to the regional power plant, I go here and just like let them have it for now. So what if I do like a whole bunch of 2s? If I get the crystal, I might be able to buy the temple or build the temple is what I'm thinking. All right, so once again, I'm hoping that they don't roll the ones that add 2 people to each space, but I am in a lot of locations. And if I hold on all of them, I'll be able to get 4 resources from this, kind of like I had gone to the power plant, so that's nice. All right, so that's 4 solo points, at least for the moment. And now what are they doing? Okay, 2, 3, 6. So 6 is that, that's fine. 2 is there, that's fine. Ah, 3, gosh darn it. Okay, well, my cubes will stay there for next round and make it a little bit easier for me to take it. So in terms of solo points, I gained soul control here and here. We tied here. They gain soul control here. So it's +2 and -1, so I end up with 5. And then half rounded down of theirs will go away where they had soul control. Dang, I could have gotten the regional power plant. They wouldn't add anymore. All right, so what am I getting? I'm getting 2 yellow, enough to run my building. I'm getting 1 crystal to build that temple potentially. And then I'm getting a 7th die. You have 9 dice max and 12 worker count max. And you can see here, every time you would go beyond that, you get 3 victory points. Or I guess 6 for me. I think it would still apply even when I'm at max. Okay, I'm up to 9 now. That's nice. But then that's it for my area stuff. All right, so what do I want to do with these 5? Is there a way for me to build these 2 buildings again and get the max of 20? So I would need 6 green, 1 yellow, 1 pink. So 5 more green would let me do it, but I would not then have enough yellow to actually run the power supply. But it'd be getting me 20 victory points just for building stuff. And I wouldn't be spending any more resources, and I'd still have the buildings. It seems like the way to go. So I'm going to spend, I think it's all 5 for green. Wow. Now, again, none of this solo point stuff and like this getting free resources, like in whatever way you want, happens in competitive. The game's a lot more cutthroat. Here you kind of get some valves to help yourself out. All right, but we're going to the investment phase. So I will build this machine training company. Look, it is a circle, so I can't put it under a star. They have to have the same icon again. And then 1 of everything to build a temple, which gets me another 20 cash for my investment. Sorry, I keep on forgetting to remove these. And then I can run both of these, so I'm getting 3 for each soul control and 2 for each control. So we've got 3 control overall times 2, that's 6, plus 2 soul control times 3, that's 6, so 12 total. And then do I want to invest? I probably do. I need more green to run my green building than I do yellow, and there's already like a 4 yellow spot out, so I could see myself getting specialized equipment. I mean, 10 is a lot. I still like this. I think I'll get this one. I think that's the easier buy. All right, so that's 4 of my victory points, and yeah, that'll finish us up. So we're all gone here. I'm gone here. They're gone here, but I stay. And I'm gone here, and then, of course, all of their, like, little half ones. Oh, and, of course, I am out of building cards at the moment, so I'm going to spend 3 to get one. Okay, and there's an interesting one. Enhanced Machine. So this can only go on boat things, but it doesn't have an icon, so it can go on any of them, except for Reclaimed Land and Artificial Island, because they're kind of weird. Oh, which in this case is crazy, because I can put it on this one, and it's just doubling what the buildings already give me, 4 for every place I control. Clearly, that's a billion times better than putting it here, where it would be soul control, because that's harder to achieve. Oh, that's more green. I need a tile that's going to give me all those green. So going into round 4, let's see if I get my bonus. I do for 3 more. This time it's legitimate because I actually invested it correctly. And what are my options? Ooh, 1 of each resource or building draw and increasing my worker. Oh man, they're both really good. I do need more building draw. Like just getting 1 card at the end of the time is not that great. And I don't really want to go there because they're already so strongly invested. So yeah, let's do this one. But this is a solid one to maybe use my character for later, because that would normally cost me 1, 2, 3, 4 solo points, but I can just use my character to make it 3. Okay, and the pink die's in now just for this column, so let's see how things go. Okay, so yellow got that, white got that, pink got nothing, and blue. Okay, so I should probably be safe just to stay there. And I think you get a solo point for each place where you coexist with the automa, whether or not like you added cubes this turn or they added cubes this turn. I think that's how it works. Don't quote me on that though, since again, prototype and everything. All right, so I've got 7 dice and 9 points to spend. The 7 is useless. I don't need that many. Although actually I could yeah, you know, they didn't go to some places yet. I got a good shot of being able to get like a free crystal here. I think I'm going to put 2, well, what are the chances? It's a 1 in 6 chance that they'll get me if I only put one worker there, but that should be okay. I think this one's going to be fine. So that leaves me with 7 left. I mean, the one spot is still amazing for me. It just gets me so many victory points all on its own. Getting more yellow over here is pretty solid. I definitely don't need another die. I don't want to get the green there. Maybe let's get even more yellow. So 1, 3, 6, 7, or 8, 9. Okay. All right, so I think I'm getting, again, if I'm understanding the rules correctly, 4 solo points, even though like these guys were already there. Because this seems like it would be annoying if you had to kind of remember where you went and where you didn't. All right, let's see what the solo thinks about that. All right, white. Okay, cool. The only, oh no, they did double up. You butts, I hate you so much. Oh, I'm not going to get any green this. Gosh darn it. I mean, it's good that the solo bot can be annoying, but yeah. All right, and then the 5. What is 5? Oh, it's like that and that. And pink. Oh, did get one up here, so I tied them. That's okay. All right, let's figure out how these all shake out. Gosh darn it there. I'm so annoyed. Should have just put one extra to be sure. All right, there we go. Got everything locked down. So I'm getting 6 yellow. I'm at 7. It's kind of more than I need. I wish I'd gotten more green. I didn't get that. So annoyed. I'm getting a crystal, which I don't need yet. Getting a die and a double worker increase. And now I'm at 11, and that's going to get me 9 more with my power. And what else? Oh, and 2 building cards, keep 1. Or discard 1, I should say. Oh, okay. I don't have enough green, although I can use my solo points for that in a second. But yeah, none of these are... Ooh, this one is 3? But this one's way cheaper, the one that I had before, and it's 2. But this one's a ton of yellow, and I have a ton of yellow. So actually, yeah, let's ditch this one, I think. And then is there a way that I can build both of these? I would need 4 green. Oh, that's right. How many solo points am I getting? So soul control here and here. With them having soul control there, so I'm at 5. Okay. All right, so going into the company phase, let's do it. I'm going to use all 5? I need at least 4. Yeah, let's do all 5 solo points to get all green. And then I will build this under here for 3 green, and this as well for 1 green and 3 yellow. So I have 1 green left and 4 yellow left. So it gets me another 20. I got to bust out the 50s now. Good for that. Remember, I'm supposed to be aiming for like 600 when I'm using the bonus things. So pretty far from that. I haven't hit my first 100 yet. Okay, and then let's activate my free ones. So I'm getting 3 for soul control and 6 for tide control and soul control. So 1, 2, 3 tide times 6 is 18. And then 1, 2 soul control, which is of 6 plus the 3. So another 18, so it's 36. And that gets me to 100. Heck yeah. And we'll go ahead and plink, plink away at this for 8 more. All right, very cool, very cool. Got a good number of points coming in. All right, and should I get one of these? I mean... I don't think... I mean, clearly it's better if I get it as early as possible. But I haven't seen enough buildings yet. I know I need more green, but also, like, there's very few places I can even go to get green because the Automa is blocking up that one spot really harshly. I mean, it's 10 points. I need to have soul control to gain the benefit. Like, if it gets me... It's round 4. Let's say over the next 5 rounds I get, like, 4 extra resources. Is that worth 10? I mean, that's like running a building twice. It probably is. All right, I'll spend it. I got money to spend. The question is which one? There's more yellow on the board, which means I can get yellow more easily. So I think I should do green, or I could do crystal, actually, because eventually crystal can be really good, and those are the most valuable buildings. Yeah, let's spend 8 more and do the crystal one, and I'll just try to hopefully get some buildings that actually want crystals. All right, that didn't drop me below 100, so that's cool. And we got a bunch of cubes coming off. And once again, that's my only spot that I have some in. And yeah, without a doubt, let's spend 3 more to get another building card, because I'm not drawing enough. Especially trying to build 2 every round. Ooh. Okay, that's 5 more for soul control. Yeah, but just more green. It's always more green. At least my solo thing is letting me get enough, the solo points. But 2 crystals, my bonus hat has got is definitely looking good with that cost. All right, coming in to round 5. Ooh. Okay, so this is, I can change crystals into these up to 3 times. But, I don't know if I want the die. And then it gets me 2 green or 2 yellow or 1 crystal. I mean, I just got a thing to make crystal gains better. So it seems a little dumb Because if I got that, I would have to always get soul control of that to even benefit. Whereas if I go, yeah, so let's do this one, I think. All right, and see where these buddies are going. All right, so pink doubles up nothing. That's fantastic from the 3. And all the rest are going on 2 spots. Yeah, it's easy to memorize that 1, 2, 3 doubles up for those, but 4 is those, 5 is those, 6 is those. Okay, so I just put the 6 out for white, and then the 5 for yellow, and the 5 for blue. Don't you do that to me. I see you there. All right, so what do I need? I need cards. I mean, this is amazing. So I'm definitely going to put... at least 1 there. We'll get back to it. I have 11 now and like so many dice. I might want to do 1 on the 3 just because I hate them. I want to get soul control of that for the bonus, so I think I'll do a 3 there. So I only have a 1/6 chance of stealing it from me. I would like more cards, so I'm going to actually go there as well. So I need like a 3. That's 8. I still have 3 left. Oh, I definitely... it's too expensive. I would definitely want the 5. So at least 1 there. And then I could do like a 2 there, just because it's worth a lot of victory points to me. But would I actually be getting resources worth? I could get a bunch of green or yellow there. I should be getting some crystals there. I can use my solo points to kind of pick up the slack. But I'm mainly getting cards. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Is that okay? It might be. It's 3, 5, 8, 11. Okay. Is there anywhere that I'm overpaying? I'm overpaying here a little bit, just because I've been skunked a few times. I probably don't need to put anything there. Like, maybe I should take that away and like put somebody here because that's so important to have. Well, let's let it ride. Let's let it ride. All right, so there we go. And we're getting 4 solo points initially. All right, what have they got for me? Okay. Wow. I'm not getting soul control here. I mean, I still get 1 crystal, but I'm not getting both. That's annoying. Pinks. Locking me out of that. Gosh, darn it. White. Doing there and there. So I got that one. And then blue is doing here and here. Shoot. Okay, so I didn't need the one there. I could have gone, man. All right. I think I got it all done. So, tie, +1, +2, -1. So I'm at 5 solo points again. That part's good. I'm getting a single crystal because my bonus didn't activate. It didn't have soul control. Getting to draw 2 buildings and discard 1. Ooh. So this, it's not like any of the other ones. It needs a green and a pink. I just don't think I'm getting enough green. It also needs more crystal. Oh, I'm going to get 2 crystals from that one in a second. So actually, that one does seem good. And then of these are like pretty much identical. Oh, except that one does more. So I guess I'll keep the one that's worth 1 more point, and we'll see if I can build it this turn with the 5. Because that was those. Over here, I'm getting my last die, and I'm up to max worker value. That's 6 more with my bonus. Okay, here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can get 5 green or 5 yellow. Has to be green. Yeah, it has to be green. I need 5 green just to build what's in my hand, not even counting like running the buildings. That was fabulous. Okay, here I'm just, I think, getting 6 victory points again. I'm not quite sure if I'm playing my company correctly because I'm at max 12 already, so I get 3 victory points when I would increase it again. But I am like resolving that icon, and my company says whenever I resolve that icon, get 3. So I think that's right. And then I'm getting 2 more buildings and keeping 1. Oh, this is interesting. So this one, if you build it, it makes permanently, it costs 1 less to run that building, but it's actually making me get more points, which is really the combo I would want. And then this one, it's exactly the same as the other one. So I would get 15 plus another 8, 23 if I ever had enough green to actually run it, which like I might eventually have enough, although maybe not if I'm going to also build the amusement park. Yeah, I think this is more likely than that. Okay, and then I want what do I need? I still have my 5 solo points, so I got a lot of wiggle room. I think getting the 2 crystals is going to be better than 2 green or 2 yellow, just because crystals are so hard to come by and they cost twice as much. So yeah, I'm going to get the 2 crystals. That's with my bonus since I have soul control instead of 1 crystal from that building. And I would get another die, but I'm already at max, so I get, I think, 6 more. I might be giving myself free 3 victory points over and over again with that. We shall see. All right, and that takes us into the next phase. All right. Oh, and I got to use my 5 solo points. So I have enough green to build everything, but then I would need 3 more green to run both buildings. So let's use 3 of the solo points for that. It gets me to 9. Okay, and then And I think you have to use your solo points before the company phase begins, technically. So that'll take care of me for all the green costs. If I also want to build the castle, I need 1 yellow. And then if I want to run my yellow, which I don't really need this for yet, I'll spend 1 to get another yellow. And I think I've got enough pink. I've got 3 crystals plus 1 to run this. So let's get another yellow for my last point, I think. I can't quite buy this yet, unfortunately, but that's okay. All right, so going into the actual company phase. So I'm building the castle under my temple for 3 green, 1 yellow, 2 crystals. There we go. And then I'm building as its own separate thing, the amusement park, 2 green, 1 crystal. That gets me 20 with my bonus for playing 2 buildings. Okay, so that's it for building, and now I'm going to run. So let's do this. 8 times soul control, which is 3 this turn, so that's 24. And then 6 times regular control, 5, so that's 30. Okay, then my actual buildings, I could run them for once. So 2 yellow for 8. 3 green for 15, so that's 23. And then another 13 for a crystal and a machine for 36, I think. And so I think if I didn't mess up making change and all that, I think I'm at 232, which seems pretty dang good with 4 rounds left, although I got to get to 600, so not there yet. And I do have 1 building card left over to hopefully get that 20-point bonus again next turn by building it. And I'm out of resources, but I love that I ran everything. Like, that's awesome. Okay, and as we go to the end, let's spend our 3 for another building. Another control one. Okay, we can probably do that. So much green. And since I didn't tie them, crud, these guys are going to make life a little tough for me next round if I want to get that huge resource bonus again. By the way, interestingly, in the original solo rulebook they sent me, the Automa would always only keep, I think, 1 cube, no matter how much they had on a place if they had 1 that you weren't on at all. But they changed that in the most recent version they sent, so I guess they're still tinkering with that balance a little bit. Ooh. I mean, this one's kind of obvious, right? Convert green or yellow, which I need a lot of, into crystals, or just get 2 crystals, or with my bonus, 3. Now I just need stupid buildings that get me crystals more quickly. All right, let's see where they're going initially. Oh, pink does not want to let that... Oh, man. Really? It's annoying. At least I can go there maybe for some crystals. And then white and blue. Man, they're really playing hardball with some of these spaces that I want for resources. So at this point, this place would just be 12 victory points for me, right? If I'm not cheating my ability. But I need resources. I don't have enough to run like anything on my board. So I do have max dice of 9 and max worker count of 12. So let's see what I want to do. All right, I think that might do it. I'm going for the cheaper yellow since they're in force there. Trying to get this. I'm actually still trying to get that, even though it costs me so much. Trying to get the crystals and more building. Oh, no, I'm not doing that one. Oh, well, that's right. I already got somebody there. Yeah, so let's see how that works out for me. And all right, the moment of truth. I'm on so many places, they're going to mess me up, at least in some spots, but hopefully not too terribly. Ooh, pink, that was a big one. So 5 means that they tie me here, so I don't get my bonus. Oh, I don't get my bonus here for crystals either. But their cubes will go away too, so I kind of don't mind. All right, blue just built up more here. Oh, wait, did I only tie them there? Gosh, I was taking a chance. Oh, no, I have 4. Never mind. Now, the negative of them not putting anything there means that they're not going to go away, of course. Okay, then yellow did tie me, but that's fine. And, oh, wait, whoops. That's yellow. White beat me here, but that's not the most important space, I think. All right, and I had 4 solo points. 5, down to 4, back to 5, tie. That's it. So 5. Man, I cannot get away from 5. It's a good number, but I'd love to get to they tell you to use 2 dice. You could get to like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I forgot to roll for my bonus. I got it. 3 more. Might not have done that last round. I can't remember. Okay, so I'm getting 2 yellow. We'll come back to that one. And we'll come back to that one. I'm getting 2 crystals because I didn't get a soul control. Here I'm getting 6 victory points and draw 2 and discard 1. Yeah, this is really what I need to see. Okay, that could boost up our green building. That would cost a lot. Oh, and that one only costs 2. I wish I'd done it the other way around. Ooh, there's a crystal making or selling building, which would be good for me. We still have that one. And then this... I mean, it's pretty dang solid. It's just getting me a bunch more victory points every turn. Although I shouldn't forget that at the end of the game, with my sponsor, I'll get to score these, well, half and max 30. I might be getting to max 30 pretty soon anyway. All right, so which one do I want to get rid of? Currently, I'm only using 1 crystal a turn, and I have a lot of crystal generation. So I think this one But then I need to get to 5 crystals. That can get me 1. I have to use like all my solo points. But I do have the ability to get more crystals. I think this is too much green. I'm going to keep these, and that's just a bridge too far. So with that, I can get... How many do I control? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can get 5 green or yellow, and then 2 or 1 crystal. I think I need to go for the 1 crystal for the 1, because otherwise I'm just not going to have enough to even like build this thing. Oh, and I gotta need a crystal for that too. And then it's got to be the 5 green, right? Yeah. Okay, and then what do I want to do with these 5? So I want at least 3 crystals just to build, which I have. And then if I had 3 more crystals, I could run these. That seems a little foolhardy. Let's go for 1 more crystal for 2 of my points. Gets me to 4, so I won't actually be able to run this one this turn. And then I need 4 yellow if I want to build these. I don't really need to build this one yet, though. I can just hold that for later. So that would mean I would only need 3 yellow, which I've got already. And then for green, I need 3, 6, 7. Okay, so let's get 2 more green. And then, I don't know, 1 yellow for next turn. Sure. Now, it takes us in the building phase. So we're going to build this. 3, 1, 1. And just keep pumping up my awesomeness there. Build that, but not you. Well, actually, let's not even build it since I want to build... Oh, yeah. I'm just thinking if I want to build 2 buildings this turn, if I'm not going to run this anyway. Oh, if I'm not going to run it anyway... Let's actually get 1 less crystal with those and get 2 more yellow. For my second building, I'll build this for 3, and then that'll cost less yellow to run for the rest of the game, but I've still built 2 things to get my 20 bonus. Okay, so I'm going to hang on to that for later, and let's run this stuff. Let's do the easy one. So that's only 1 yellow now for 8, 3 green for 15, so 23. It's going to be the same total again, right? And 1 green, 1 pink for 36. And then a lot. A lot is what I'm saying. 5, 7, 9 per control, and 8 per soul control. Wow. So 9 and 8 is 17 for soul control. 1, 2, 3 times 17 is 51. Okay, and then 9 for the ones I tied on, so that's 18 more. Pretty dang good, pretty dang good. Then as the turn ends, I'll spend the 3 I got from my die roll to get another building. As really they kind of pay for each other. Oh, another crystal thing. Huh. If I built them both, I don't know. It's a lot of crystals. Now, I do have a lot of ways to get crystals if they give them to me. Which, so far, they're not necessarily making as easy as they could. Might need to add a 3rd color for the saboteurs in a second, because, again, in the original rules, they would only keep 1 on each location, even when they, won it without me being there. But now with them keeping 2 or 3, they might run out of cubes. We'll see if we have enough. All right, but going into round 7. Oh, my gosh, where you been all my life? Oh, that's good, too. But, I mean, I'm always having to, spend all my solo points on green. I like that a lot. Between, that, and that, although they are really... heavily competing over there. But, oh wait, what? Oh, that's right, I didn't win over here. Okay. All right, let's roll for my bonus. Yes, 3 more. And we got to roll the black die for our last column there. All right, let's go down the numbers. So there and there for blue and yellow. Sorry, there for yellow, making crystals still annoying for me. And white's there, and black has 1. All right, interesting. All right, so this is a lock. We don't even care. I need to get that, and I want to get the soul control because there's just so much crystal stuff I can do. Where'd my thing go? Here it is. Okay, so yeah, let's definitely lock that down. Not going to care about that one. Need to get that. I don't care if I have soul control necessarily, but I do get a lot of victory points for, yeah, it's 8 extra victory points for every place. So, well, let's do the minimum for now. And that spot's pretty great. We can at least put 1 there. Kind of want the 4 yellow to shore that up. Well, I don't actually use very much. I need so much more green for my buildings. And just a ton of crystals. Which being the case, probably I would want to go there. How much is that already? 3, 6, 9, 11. So I have 1 more with some wiggle room to play with. I could bump this up to 4 to give me a very good chance of getting soul control and then get 2 crystals from it instead of 1. And maybe be able to do all the crystal stuff I want to do. All right, let's try that. Heavily invested on the right side over here, although these are the better buildings, so it makes sense. All these later buildings are stronger than those. Okay, so what have I got? 1, 2... Oh, wow, only 3 solo points to start. Sort of tried to avoid them, didn't I? All right, and let's see how it works out. So blue's going there. Glad I didn't compete. Black's going here. Yellow's going here. Sorry, not black, white. Pink's going there. That worked out great. Oh, and then black is the 2 empty spots. That was awesome. So solo point change. I'm getting, oh man, +2. Oh, so it's better to have soul control because you get more solo points, of course. I should have realized this. Wow. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, baby. Now it does mean that their cubes will get cleared less because when you tie them, their cubes don't get cleared. But that is a lot of stuff to play with this round. All right, so let's count it up. Let's do the simple ones. 4 green, 3 crystal with my bonus, and then it's got to be 2 more crystal with the bonus here. I think I'll use the solo points for the rest, and I get 6 money from the die that I can't take, and then 4 yellow. Wow, I got all the resources. And then 6 money here. And then I'm drawing 2, discarding 1, drawing 2, discarding 1. So I'll end up with a bunch of buildings. Ooh, a cheap crystal that can go with the other crystals. That's pretty amazing. This could be 3 extra victory points every time I run it. Oh, and actually I could put that as the top. I mean, what's the difference? This would be 6, 12, 18, but for only 1 crystal. This would be 15, 21, 24 for 2 crystals. I mean, it's a much better rate. So yeah, I think I want to keep these and get rid of that. That was the first one, and then let's go again. Oh, my lord. What? Oh, and I can put it underneath. Yeah, get out of here, Cinema. Although Cinema does only need yellow. Oh, and I could put it underneath my green and pink. That's kind of better. Because I don't know if I have that many crystals. Like, how many? I have 6 crystals, and I can get a bunch more, but I do not have 8, 10, whatever crazy amount of crystals that is. Ooh, but I could, if I use my guy's ability for 3 of the solo points to do 3 conversions. That could get me to a crazy number of crystals. All right, so let's actually get rid of one of the 2s, but I want to keep the 3 for the 10. All right, so we got a lot of stuff. And I did just check, this can trigger only once per round, so even if I built 4 cards, which I might be able to do this round, I would not get $40. Okay, so we're going into the company phase. Whew! How many crystals is this? So I want to build a lot of these. I want to build a lot of these if I can. These ones are actually kind of better. So let's do 2 yellow, 2 green, 2 crystals, and make... Oh, wait. Oh, I'm stupid. I was holding the one that I already built. Jeez, Mike. So give me back my stuff, and I'll just pay to upgrade it. So that's 1 building built. And then I want to build the cheapest crystal one. So that's 2 buildings built. Already gets me the 20. Let's keep that. Okay, and then, I mean, I can at least do the 3 crystal building and still run it if I can get a little bit more. I have enough green to run everything. I have enough yellow to run everything. But I am gonna use 3 of my solo points to... Oh, this is better. So I'm in sole control of like a billion places. So I'm getting the max. I'm getting 4 crystals. Now, I don't think... This is like using this guy's power. It's not actually doing it in the area phase, like where my workers were placed. So I don't think I get like my bonus for having sole control, because clearly I don't have any control at all. With that, heck yeah, we'll build this bad boy too. Just cleared out my entire hand, but yeah, man, let's do this. Okay, so 1 crystal for 6, 22. 1 crystal, 1 green. Brings it to 41. 3 more green. Brings it to 56. Plus 8 more for a single yellow thanks to the discount. Gets me to 64. Let's go. I'm about to bust out a 500, so yeah. And actually, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That stayed the same. Oh, that's right. And 8 for soul control. I'm going to get so much because it's 17 for each one that I solely control here, which is a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 17. That's 70. And then 9 for ties. There. So 9 more. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to call it because this is a preview. I don't have to show you the entire end of the game. And I've already gotten to 528. So I said, again, 600, I think, is the target score. Although really it can kind of be a beat your own score thing, of course. And yeah, but yeah, I've already got 528 with 2 rounds to go. I'm sure I would get to 600 or 700. And then I'd be getting half of the revenue from my cards, but max 30. I mean, that gotta be... Right? I got like 60, so I think I'm already at max 30. Now, this sponsorship would be a little bit more, see how things go. At the end of the final round, I would get 6 for every place I solely controlled. But that should give you a good idea of Compania and how it plays. I will say I've played competitive and solo, and what you saw here is much more kind of explosive and crazy because of those solo points that's given you so much stuff you can do. By the way, did I not spend? Oh, geez, I don't think I spent my other 5 points from last round because I was so committed to getting that crystal thing and using my character's special power. But yeah, what do I think of this one so far? To kind of go into my impressions, I love the worker placement. It is a little bit busier in solo because you're dealing with multiple colors. In competitive, it is just the smoothest thing ever because each player puts out their stuff all at once. You see who is controlling the areas, and then you take it off at the end of the round. Like, it moves incredibly quickly. Solo takes a little bit longer, but it's still pretty smooth. Although, again, with the rule change where you're keeping like odd numbers, it was definitely simpler in the previous rulebook. Again, no matter how much they won, if they were the sole occupier, they would just leave a single cube there. So it would always be kind of attractive for you to go. So I actually I think, prefer the old rule, but it does make it a little bit tougher with the newer rule because they lock you out of locations more commonly. Although it's mostly these left ones. You don't necessarily want that much. But yeah, I think the worker placement is great. Now, I will note in competitive, and you saw this a little bit in solo, there is always kind of the randomness factor. If the solo bot just happens to keep like skunking you out of locations, although you clearly have a lot of control and you have perfect information to the extent that if you beat them by 2, you will always be able to get somewhere. But yeah, there is some luck in how the solo bot rolls, and there's a ton of luck. Well, I don't know if you want to call it luck, but in competitive play, there's, you don't know where the other players are going to go. And by the way, in 2-player, you have each a second color that you're like also putting down, not to control things, but just to mess with the other players. So that's kind of a fun wrinkle. But yeah, certainly the game can be frustrating for some players, like when we played competitive, if you keep on feeling like you're missing out. Now, the fact that your workers stay there if you don't get to activate the building, I think takes away a ton of those negative feelings, but they're not gone completely. I'll also say in competitive, we did notice what seemed like the possibility, at least, of a runaway leader problem, especially if you get ahead early on how many workers you can put out and how many dice you have, because then you might just keep on like hogging those spots and getting your stuff up more. Now, we did all eventually catch up like in my competitive plays, but yeah, whichever player got like a ton of the workers early, like often happens in worker placement, did tend to kind of jump ahead a bit. So that's something to keep in mind. It doesn't really apply to solo, of course. But yeah, I like the worker placement. I like the nice variety in kind of which resources are out. Although that is another randomness element. Sometimes you'll get a ton of buildings that need green, and if the green buildings just don't come out as frequently, that's a problem. In solo, it's not really an issue because you can make up so much of it with your solo points, and you're drawing 2 and keeping 1 tile each round. In competitive, you just flip up 1 tile. So it does mean, and this is partially strategy, partially randomness, it does mean that you really want to like not go all in on yellow or all in on green until you're sure those resources are going to exist on the board sufficiently. So it kind of varies up what you want to do with your buildings. But yeah, sometimes you'll get buildings that combo with what you already have. Sometimes you get buildings that work well with the resources you have. Again, this is more a competitive randomness problem. Solo gives you so much mitigation with the solo points that you don't really see it as much. But yeah, I think the core play of this is great. Love the worker placement. Love how quick like the area control is. Love the little choices here with investments. And again, there's I think 3, at least in the prototype, different tiles for each of these, and then a ton of different tiles for the stuff that goes on the board. Big stack of buildings, 6 different characters with powers for solo, a bunch of different companies to give you ongoing bonuses and different resources at the beginning of the game. So the variety is definitely here. The solo mode is good. I do think that I got a little too strong. That would maybe be my complaint about solo, is that you kind of can crush things too well if things keep going your way, and it can make the game go a little bit longer. You can kind of see this in the 7-round play I did. Competitive play is a lot faster with everything being simultaneous, and with you not getting the solo points, you're not doing like an insane amount of stuff each round. But solo, again, is more balanced, where you can control your fate more. I do think there's going to be more randomness and potential frustration in competitive play. So I enjoyed this one a lot, but go check out the crowdfunding page. It should be up live now or in the next couple of days, and see what you think yourself. Thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Pedro Lucas, Nick Skeen, Miles, Wayne Scott, Steve Wren, and Casey W. We'll see you at the next stop.